Hey guys, today we're going to be making some keto blueberry muffins, which are great for breakfasts. You can have them throughout the week. This makes a dozen of them, and so let's get started. So first things I like to do is make sure I have all the equipment ready to go. You're going to need a bowl, something to stir the muffins with, some measuring cups, some measuring spoons, a muffin tin, and you don't necessarily need this, but it's really nice to have, is a meat baller. This will help scoop out the batter and plop it into the cupcake holders. And then you need some cupcake liners. Now the next thing I want to do is make sure you have all the right ingredients. Since we're making blueberry muffins, you're going to need some blueberries. I like to use frozen because they last longer. You can use fresh as well. Some lemon juice, a stick of butter, otherwise known as 8 tablespoons, or a half cup, some salt, vanilla extract, baking powder, almond flour, some eggs, and some Greek plain yogurt. For this recipe today, I'm actually going to be using the rest of my plain non-fat yogurt. You can substitute this if you don't have the Greek plain, but this is preferred, the Greek stuff, because you get less carbs per serving, and it's also a lot more protein. So the Greek plain yogurt is preferred, but today this container for me is almost empty. I'm just going to use the rest of it. It's a fine substitute. Alright, after you gathered all your ingredients, you want to preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're going to start with the butter. If you took this out of the fridge, you can just warm it up with your hands a little bit to get it out of the wrapper. And we're going to melt this. You can do it in like 30-second increments on high, or if your microwave is a little fancy, you can do the softened or melt option. So for me, I'm going to do the melt butter option. I'm just going to press the melt button 3 times and enter. But every microwave is a little bit different. I also forgot another kind of ingredient, not really ingredient inside the food, but you'll need some Pam or something similar so then your muffins don't stick. So here's the butter after doing one round of the soften, and I think I might want to do it a little bit longer. I'm going to add 10 seconds on high. Alright, that's good enough. Next you want to add the almond flour. We're going to do 3 cups. Alright, let's combine the butter and the almond flour. Nice, alright, let's add some baking powder. Let's do 2 teaspoons of that. Alright, so there's my teaspoon measure. It has a nice little lip there, so you can level it off. 1, 2. Let's do a little bit of salt. You can use whatever salt you like. Just a little bit. I'm using the smallest measuring here, 1/4 teaspoon. Okay. Another ingredient I forgot is the stevia. Just a little bit, 1, 2 tablespoons of stevia. Let's do some lemon juice. 2 tablespoons of this. You can see it reacting with the baking soda. Powder, I should say. You want 1/2 a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Time for the Greek yogurt. You'll want to do 3/4 cup of that. Or if you're measuring in tablespoons, you'll want a dozen tablespoons of Greek yogurt. In my case, I'm just going to use the substitute. And the containers pretty much looks like 3/4 cup to me. So I'm just going to use the rest of this container. Another difference between the two is that the yogurt is a little more runnier, and the Greek yogurt is more held together. So if you use the exact same amount, maybe reduce the yogurt if you're using that by a little bit. Otherwise, your muffins might be a little bit too runny and fall apart on you. And we need very important ingredients of eggs. You're going to need 4 eggs. Hardest thing about eggs is not getting any shells in your food. You want to try and make a clean break. But if you do happen to get shells, just fish them out with the eggshell. Yeah, looks pretty good. I didn't get any eggshells in there, which is good. Wash my hands real quick. Alright, let's see what this looks like combined. Great. I'm happy with this consistency. Plop. And one final ingredient. In order to make this blueberry muffins, we have to add blueberries. Let me rinse this out. And you just heard my oven beep. Perfect timing. Alright, 1 cup blueberries. Stick them in there. Now, instead of stirring quickly, like you might have been doing earlier, we're going to do what's called folding, which is just gently folding these into the recipe. You don't want to, especially with fresh blueberries, you don't want to be smooshing them and getting them everywhere. We want to kind of have them hold their shape a little bit. Out comes the meatballer. Gonna scrape off the rest of that batter into here. Alright, we're done with our spoon. Next up is to get these into the tin. Grab your muffin tin and your liners. Start putting them in here. This will make a dozen muffins. Get some Pam or any other kind of non-stick spray. Pretty much necessary. These things like to stick. Alright, so we got a batter of delicious blueberry muffin mix. Got my meatballer. Here's why it's easy. Is I just go like that, and that scrapes out the inside. Give each of these muffins one scoop. You can also use a spoon that you sprayed some Pam on it to do this too. And if you can, try and get the extra large cupcake liners. It just makes it easier. Plus, if there's any kind of spill, it's not going to spill over onto your muffin tin. Alright, each of them got one. Let me give them another scoop each. Kind of pat them down a little bit. Unlike regular muffins, like a regular muffin batter, these aren't going to self-level themselves. So you have to help them out by patting down. Otherwise, there are going to be some goofy shapes here. Uh-oh. Trick is to do quick taps. If you're trying to level it out. Okay. And if you see any stray batter, just kind of wipe that up. Okay, that should be good enough. Now you're going to want to stick these in the oven at 350 for a half hour, maybe a little bit longer, could be up to 5 minutes longer. And then once you see a golden brown on the top, that's when they're done. You can take them out to cool. There we go. And after your muffins are done and completely cool, stick them in an airtight container, such as this one. Stick them in the fridge, and there's your breakfast for the week.